Home prices are insanely high. Mortgage rates, well, those are now starting to rise. So what is a potential home buyer to do? Broker Jim Bottrell is here to help us navigate the real estate world in San Diego. Jim, thanks for being here with us.
Morning, thank you.
Well, it looks like you've got a nice piece of property there with a nice view.
Yes, we do enjoy it quite a bit.
Okay, the main question here that a lot of people are struggling with, is this a good time to buy?
Well, short answer is yes. It's a better time to already own, but yes, it's still a good time to buy. Even though prices have gone up quite a bit, the interest rates are still relatively low. But, I've been doing these interviews for about a year now, and I always talk about the interest rates, and the interest rates are going to go up. And guess what? They have gone up. They've gone up quite a bit, about 1%, but they're going to go up a lot more. So yes, I do believe that it is still a good time to buy. Absolutely.
And why, your thing is interest rates are more important than home price. Can you explain to someone watching who's maybe not grasping that?
Okay. Well, the interest rate is when you buy a home, you're actually buying two things. Most people don't really realize that. While, yes, you are buying a home, you're also buying a loan, an interest rate that you're going to keep theoretically for the next 30 years. And that determines how much your payment is each month. So it's, there's a lot of people out there that think that prices are going to decline. I'm going to wait for prices to come down. Like a whole bunch of reasons why that's not going to happen. But they are sitting there thinking that if I can maybe buy this house a little bit cheaper, but it defeats itself if you end up paying a lot more in interest rate, because your payment will be higher because of the interest rate.
So I actually have gone through this process very recently. I just purchased and I got an interest rate of 2.99. So I just,
Awesome. Starts with a 2. Fantastic.
Yeah, it starts with a 2.
And you're lucky because that isn't there anymore.
That's right. They're already up because, we've been monitoring the market and you think like, well, maybe it's going to dip a little. Maybe it's going to dip a little. And what's happening, I've been looking at properties for a year now. They've just skyrocketed. So it's almost like you just got to take the plunge.
You do have to. And prices, there's a lot of people out there thinking prices are going to come down, and they're just not going to, at least in my opinion. And I think there's 3 basic reasons why I don't see a decline coming. Is first of all, we simply don't have enough structures in San Diego County for the population, and builders are not going to be able to fix it. So there, right there's not enough homes for sale. 2, institutional investors have been buying a lot of properties. That's Wall Street, and they're buying them with a 30-year hold strategy. And then we have what's going to be a very new phenomenon. There's going to be a new saying coming out, and I'm predicting it. They're going to say, I used to love my home, but now I love my interest rate. And I'll give you an example why that's really going to play in. Let's take that young family that bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and their interest rate starts with a 2, like yours does. And then their family expands and they think, well, it'd be great to have that 4th bedroom. Let's go ahead and maybe buy a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. But that house now comes with an interest rate that starts with a 4 or a 5, which means their payment would effectively double. And so let me ask you this, are they going to double their house payment to get that extra bedroom, or do you think they're just going to put bunk beds in one of the kids' rooms? And it's going to be the bunk beds. So that's what's going to prop the prices up and prevent a decline in houses. There's just not going to be many homes for sale for those 3 reasons. There aren't enough homes. Institutional investors are sucking up a lot of them, and they're not going to sell those. And people are just going to sit where they're at and put bunk beds in the bedrooms. So we're not going to have many houses for sale.
2 things. I came from a market, Chicago, where people would upgrade their home. You buy your starter home, you move up, and what you're saying, it seems like people buy a home here and we can't afford to get a bigger one. We're going to stay in this one. So there's not a lot of, availability. And the other question for you is, we do understand that we have a limited amount of inventory here, but why doesn't San Diego build up? Like condos,
build more houses?
Yeah. Well,
that's fantastic.
Well, condos.
That's a fantastic question. Here's why builders can't do it. Well, first of all, to get a building permit in California for a master plan community, I say this, I joke with this all the time. The United States fought and won World War II in less time than it takes to get a building permit. But the reason they can't really do it in San Diego County is, you're going to go to the north, that's Camp Pendleton, can't build there. You go to the south, that's Mexico, can't build there. To the west, it's Pacific Ocean, can't build there. So now you've got to go east and you start going into rough terrain. And it's really hard for builders to build master plan communities, and just takes them a long time to actually build them out. So that's why builders are not going to be able to fix this problem.
Oh my goodness. We missed just a tiny part of the end of what you said because it froze about why they can't build up. No, it's not your fault.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say that you can't build north, you can't build south, you can't build west. So if you go to the east, now you start getting into a lot of really hilly terrain. And it's really hard for builders to build big master plan communities inside hilly terrain. It just takes them forever to do it. So that's why builders are not going to be able to fix the housing shortage. The housing shortage that we have here is just going to be there. It's just going to be perpetual. It's going to be forever. And that's going to prop up prices and prevent them from going down. We just don't have the inventory.
And then downtown, of course, we've got the airport, so we can only build up to a certain extent as well.
Well, it doesn't seem to stop the parking structure from being right at the end of the runway.
Well,
I don't know how they pulled that one off.
I don't know. Okay, so we do have to wrap up, Jim. This has been so insightful. Do you have any, positive words of advice for homeowners who are trying to break into this market right now?
Absolutely. I would say if you are thinking of home ownership, which you all should be, by the way, do it now. Do it right now. Because I think if you wait, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up paying more for the house and you're going to pay a higher interest rate. So if you're thinking of buying that first house, do it now. If you're thinking of upsizing or downsizing, do it now. And there's a lot of people out there that are renting thinking, hey, I'll just avoid all of this and just continue to rent. That's not going to work either because the rents rocket again this year. And so it's just going to keep happening. So get that home, lock in that 30-year interest rate, and be done with it. And now you know what you're paying forever.
Jim, I had one last comment before we go, and tell me if you think that this is a smart way of thinking. So I purchased, and hey, some people say, hey, we may experience a dip, and that price of your property is going to dramatically dip. But in my mind, okay, well, I'm just going to hold on to this forever, and at one point it's going to be rental income. Is that a good way to think about it?
100%. I've done that a whole bunch of times. I own a lot of rental properties. A lot of them I've lived in. I owned rental properties during that big dip. I mean, for example, I bought one. I paid back in 2001. I paid $300,000 for it. It went down to $180,000, but I didn't sell it, and now it's worth almost $900,000 today. So time fixes everything with real estate. It doesn't matter what it does in the short term. Real estate is a long-term play, and if you don't want to live in it anymore, that's okay. Make it a rental. There's plenty of renters out there.
Jim, I could keep talking to you. Yeah, you're so insightful. We appreciate all your advice. I think you made a couple people out there feel a little bit better about dipping their toe into home ownership here in San Diego.
Hopefully I changed some lives today.
Yeah, Jim, thank you so much.